Is your schedule a mess? Do you have days where you're running around, you're on roller skates, you barely have time to eat, and you look at your production and you wonder how it's so low? And then you have other days where it feels like you have all the time in the world and it's one of your highest production days of the week. If so, then stick around for these 5 tips on how to make your office schedule more productive. Hey, the schedule's a mess. Yeah, and we don't know what to do about it. And we're running around and we're asking and we're telling the staff and we don't seem to get compliance. What do we do? Well, that's what we want to talk about today. And these 5 tips can ultimately help you get more production out of your schedule and do it in a balanced way where we can end the roller coaster. You guys all know what roller coaster is. You know, the really high production day, the really low production day, the really high production day. Okay, we don't want to do that anymore. So let's talk about tip number 1. First tip, put it in writing. You have to put it in writing. What do you have to put in writing? You have to write out your scheduling policy ideas. If you don't write it, you will never get compliance. And issuing out verbal orders to the staff is a lot like issuing insanity. And what happens is the orders of how to run the schedule just becomes a nasty game of telephone. You sit down with the staff and one person and you go, all right, listen, I'm taking off next week. I want you to close the schedule at 3 o'clock. And by the time the end of the day comes around, people are like high-fiving and slapping hands, and you're like, what's going on? They're like, we no longer work after 3 o'clock ever. And it's like, oh my goodness. So we don't ever issue verbal policy. What we want to do is put it in writing. The written agreements of how to operate the schedule accomplish 2 things. Number 1, you can actually hire and train somebody. Number 2, you can quality control and check or correct staff members that are not issuing the policies or following the issues of the policies. All right, so that was tip number 1. Tip number 2. Now, the rest of my tips are all coming from scheduling policy ideas that we give to our clients and we give to other doctors that show up. And you can download it on the link below. Just click the button, fill out the form, and we'll send it to you. And I'm picking 4 more of my favorites that I really like from this scheduling policy idea that we've developed. And when you download it, keep what you like, alter what you sort of like, and don't implement what you don't like, okay? Tip number 2, there must be one person in control of the schedule and ultimately in charge of production. If you have an office where nobody's in charge of production, then no one's responsible. If everybody can run the schedule, then no one can be held accountable. So we want to put one person in charge because when things aren't going as planned, we want to come to that one person and go, what's going on? So please put somebody in charge of the schedule. It's theirs. No one else touches it. And that way you can come to them and go, how are we doing this? Great, we're going to keep doing that. And these are the things I'd like to change. So tip number 2, put a single person in charge of your schedule. All right, tip number 3, one of my favorites. We do not want the doctor to paint us into a corner. Staff, you know what I'm talking about. The worst is when the doctor's sitting with the patient and they go, I'd like to see you next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And they don't know that next Tuesday at 9 o'clock is filled with a procedure. Then the patient comes out and they're like, yeah, Dr. Smith said that I'm supposed to be in next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I don't have a 9 o'clock. And now they're upset. So the doctor never mentions a date or a time unless they know for sure that it's available. Wait and let the scheduler handle it. That's what we're paying them for. That's why we hire them. They're in charge of it and they're going to know best. So tip number 3, doctors, do not tell patients a specific date or time. And that brings us to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is one of my favorites. Well, maybe it's not my favorite. It's really kind of a pet peeve. Anywhere that you have your cancellation policy, please notify us within 48 hours if you'd like to cancel your appointment. Otherwise, you will be charged a $75 broken appointment fee. Okay, good. There's only one place that should be, and that is in your first initial new patient financial disclosure forms. After that, get rid of it. If a patient makes an appointment, then we're expecting that they're going to show up. I don't want to give them the expectation that it's okay to cancel. Just give us 48 hours. So please, anywhere you've got a cancellation policy notice, get rid of it. I see people hang it in the office. They put it on all their cards. They send it in their emails. Like, it's got to go. Because all that tells the patient is it's okay to cancel. And is it okay to cancel? No. Tip number 4, get rid of your cancellation policy. Printed anywhere other than your financial disclosure forms. All right, and my final tip. Tip number 5. All patients are scheduled for their next visit before they leave. That includes prophies, restorative adjustments, anything. We would like to end our attrition rate, losing patients after we acquire them. And the best way to do that is to make sure that everyone is scheduled. So we have to have a policy, and we should run that in a morning huddle, look at everybody on the schedule and find out who doesn't have their next appointment. Typically, people in hygiene are already being handled by the hygienist in the back. But if we have that rule in, then we'll have some checks and balances. We'll make sure that the front desk is always checking that, okay, when you leave, do you have your next appointment? Most patients that we're losing in the practice that end up becoming reactivation are patients that kind of left the office in not the normal way, and so we missed scheduling them properly. Always check which patients are not scheduled into the future. Make sure that's being done. Let's end these attrition rates as high as 40%. Keep the patients we got, schedule everybody before they leave. Those are 5 tips. Download our scheduling policy ideas. There's a total of 18. Like I said, keep what you like, alter what sort of fits your schedule, and get rid of what you don't like. Ultimately, there must be something in writing that we can issue out to the staff that everyone can operate from the same playbook so we know how the schedule is supposed to be handled. That's all I got for you this week. If you like this tip, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be made aware of when our next tip comes out, and I'll see you next time. Take care.